championing animal rights. With unwavering commitment to welfare causes, she utilized her platform not for self-aggrandizement, but to amplify the voices of those who could not speak. Animals enduring suffering in silence. Beyond her activism, she was also an artist at heart. In 1986, she published a needlepoint scrapbook, a stunning compilation of embroidered patterns accompanied by her reflections, a serene and personal outlet that showcased her passion for detail and introspection. Subsequently, she released Sweetheart, a book that intertwined her watercolor paintings with narratives from her endeavors in animal advocacy. Unlike many of her contemporaries, Sweet discreetly withdrew from Hollywood following her last television appearance in 2008. She did not pursue headlines or social media notoriety. Instead, she opted for solitude, creativity, and purpose over superficiality and glamour. When she passed away in 2025 at the age of 87, tributes flooded in from those who mattered most, her co-stars, her fans, and the millions she inspired. For many, she was a force. Her portrayal of Margaret Houlihan redefined the essence of a strong woman on television. Through her performances and her life, Loretta Swett demonstrated that a true legacy is not constructed in the limelight, but is forged through purpose, principles, and heartfelt dedication. If you appreciated this glimpse into the untold story of MSH and Loretta's life, please remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications. Her legacy extends beyond the lines she delivered. It resides in the change she instigated, the lives she impacted, and the strength she infused into every scene. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Switz served as the emotional anchor, and her relationship with Alan Alda developed into one of the show's most profound connections. Although their characters initially clashed, they eventually came to respect one another, and their off-screen bond was equally strong. For decades, fans speculated about a deeper relationship between them, which they never confirmed or denied. However, when she passed away on May 30th, 2025, Alda finally expressed his feelings in a touching post, stating, "She created Margaret." He reflected on how she transformed a caricature into a fully realized character, celebrating the moment they stopped referring to her as Hot Lips and simply called her Margaret. He concluded with a subtle tribute that suggested a deeper connection that had remained private for nearly 50 years. Outside of her role as Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan in MAEH, Loretta Swett led a life characterized by passion, principles, and quiet strength. While millions recognized her as a television icon, her legacy reached far beyond the screen. In 1983, she married actor Dennis Houlihan, who made a guest appearance on MASH as a Swedish diplomat. Although their marriage ended in 1995, Sweet chose not to remarry. Instead, she found fulfillment in a life marked by independence, creativity, and advocacy. A committed animal rights activist, Sweet became a vegetarian early in her life and fully embraced veganism in 1981, long before it became mainstream. She aligned herself with organizations such as PETA, Woody he articulated, aware that he did not wish to be remembered merely as a one-dimensional antagonist devoid of development or complexity. In a similar vein, Gary Berghoff, the cherished actor behind Radar O'Reilly, ultimately reached his limit by the 8th season. By that time, Berghoff was in his 40s, still portraying a character intended to be a naive adolescent. The emotional and physical demands of the role began to take a toll on him, compounded by personal fatigue and escalating tensions on set. There were even rumors of a significant altercation with Wayne Rogers. Berghoff recognized it was time to depart, yet he did so with dignity, and his farewell episode paid tribute to both the character and the actor who made Radar so memorable. Amid these transitions, Loretta Swett remained, but her loyalty was not merely passive. From the outset, she advocated for Margaret Houlihan to be portrayed as more than just a stereotype. Thanks to her determination, Hot Lips evolved into Margaret, a woman of strength, vulnerability, and substance. She collaborated closely with the writers to imbue Margaret with emotional depth and humanity, transforming her from merely hot lips into a formidable and empathetic leader. Episodes such as Hot Lips and Empty Arms and The Nurses showcased her in a leading role, and Sweet excelled, earning 10 Emmy Awards. Nominations for winning 2 awards included multiple Golden Globes and People's Choice Awards. She also played a crucial role in maintaining harmony on set when tensions arose among cast members over screen time or creative decisions. As Colonel Potter and Mike Farrell portrayed B.J. Hunut, they contributed significantly to the series' transition into its iconic later years. However, while fans welcomed the cast changes, the atmosphere behind the scenes was far from harmonious. As the show's creative direction evolved, so too did the relationships among the actors. The most significant shift occurred when Alan Alda began to exert greater influence, taking on roles in writing, directing, and eventually producing. Although this enhanced the emotional depth of the show, it also fostered feelings of resentment. Wayne Rogers departed after season 3. He had initially joined the cast with the expectation that Trapper John would share equal prominence with Hawkeye. As time progressed, it became evident that Alda had emerged as the focal point of the series. Feeling overshadowed, Rogers chose to leave, although he maintained amicable relations with Alda. Similarly, McLean Stevenson, who portrayed Colonel Blake, also exited around the same period. He was cherished by the audience but felt constrained by his character. He once remarked, "I thought America loved McLean Stevenson. In reality, they adored Henry Blake." His departure stunned viewers, and the off-screen demise of his character in a plane crash remains one of television's most shocking moments. Larry Linville, who embodied the uptight and frequently mocked Frank Burns, decided to leave MASH after 5 seasons. While his portrayal made Burns one of the most unforgettable antagonists in television history, Linville believed the character had become too superficial, overly exaggerated, and devoid of any significant development. "I had done all I could with that character. Colonel Potter, sir, my final request is to be interred in my mother's wedding gown. I have witnessed these doges for 40 years, all the drinks before her passing." Loretta Swit has finally confirmed what fans had only speculated about for decades: the true reasons the beloved cast of MASH departed. It was not solely about contracts or careers. It involved ego, frustration, heartbreak, and creative conflicts simmering beneath the surface of one of television's most treasured shows. If you believed you understood the narrative of MASH, reconsider. From startling exits to undisclosed rivalries, Loretta has broken her silence after nearly 50 years. Stay with us, for what she disclosed alters everything you thought you knew about the series that shaped a generation. MASH, which aired on CBS from September 17, 1972 to February 28, 1983, redefined the possibilities of television. Based on Richard Hooker's novel and the 1970 film, the series was set during the Korean War in a mobile army surgical hospital in Wojongbu, South Korea. It took the raw anguish of wartime and infused it with sharp humor, heart, and humanity. From the outset, it was evident that MASH was not merely another sitcom. It was profoundly human. One moment had you laughing, and the next you were holding back tears. The cast was unforgettable. Alan Alda as Hawkeye Pierce, Wayne Rogers as Trapper John, Loretta Swit as Margaret Houlihan, Larry Linville as Frank Burns, Gary Berghoff as Radar O'Reilly, and McLean Stevenson as Colonel Henry Blake. Later additions included Harry Morgan.